Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of That Tom Clancy Show. I am, of course, your lovable robotic host, Mr. That Tom Clancy. Welcome to the show, everybody. It is always so good to see you. Ashley, you continue to be one of the first people here day in and day out. I love it. Can't wait to have you on the show. Spoiler alert for everybody else in chat. Ashley's going to be on the show in a couple weeks. Can't wait. We're going to talk short films and probably Dead Space because did you finish it last night? Because I know you wanted to, but did you finish it? Because, it's one of my favorite games ever. And I'm no hyperbole. I flat out mean it's one of my favorite games ever. So, don't talk too much about it in chat. We'll save it for the show. Other than that, I don't know. What's even going on in the world these days? 2020 sucks. Doing my part to try and help make it a little bit better. And other than that, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch and a root beer. It was kind of nice. So, but that's not important. What is important is my guest. So my guest today submitted a very cool looking game called Ancient Sky for last month's hashtag picture game. So Bits and Pixels, if you would please join me in welcoming our guest today, Timi. Wait, no. Why is my keyboard? No, it's not on. That's why. Yeah, there we go. Hey!
Hi.
Welcome, Timi.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thanks for inviting me.
oh, absolutely. See, one of the wonderful things about not having a corporate master on a show like this is that I get to invite whoever the hell I want. And so basically, I just invite people whose games I think look cool, or in the case of Ashley, streamers who I think are cool. And then every now and then I've derped my way into friendships that allow me to have Spider-Man on my show. So,
Spider-Man's cool.
yeah. Yuri Lowenthal yesterday. He played Spider-Man in Insomniac Spider game from a couple years ago.
My friend worked on that game. He works for Sony. I think it was that game. His name's Clayton. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. That's a cool little, not anticipated at all connection between the two of us.
Yeah. So I knew him because he was the translator on one of my favorite game, or my favorite game actually, which is from Dreamcast, and that's also the main inspiration for my current project.
And which game was that?
That was called Skies of Arcadia.
Oh,
It's made by
yeah.
Sega on the Dreamcast, and it's by far my biggest inspiration and also my favorite game.
I didn't play the Dreamcast version. The Dreamcast was one of those systems that I had that I did not have a particular large number of games for.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much just played Soul Calibur on it.
That was good. I had that, or I rented it.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, the Dreamcast is one of those hidden gems of a system.
It's my favorite.
God, that's a tough. Now that makes me think. What's my favorite system?
Mm,
I mean, because there's so many great games throughout history. I mean, it's being in my relative age group, and Nick in chat, Nicodemus1 there, is going to remind me that I'm old. I've been playing video games through pretty much the entirety of their history.
wow.
And, it's the Nintendo Entertainment System is very clearly would be up in the running. But, I mean, for me, geez, I think I'd probably have to go with the Xbox 360.
That was the last console that I've owned, actually.
I mean, because saying PC would just be too generic because it's,
Mm,
because there's so many different eras of PC gaming. And of course, uh, uh, Nick, I love you, but please stop calling me boomer. But it's because PC gaming started in the DOS era, which is something that can't really even be emulated now. And then of course you have the Windows era, and then you start getting to the modern era with 95, 98, 2000 XP, and it's just, it's its own almost console generation set up in its own weird way.
Did you have a GameCube? I liked the GameCube a lot.
Yes, I have owned every Nintendo system with the exceptions of the Game Boy Color and the Virtual Boy.
Oh, I had a Game Boy Color, but never a Virtual Boy. They looked weird.
You know, I wanted one, but I think it's probably no surprise that the person who does the virtual reality talk show wanted a virtual reality console.
Oh yeah, kind of like Ancestor.
I've played one and it gave me a horrible, horrible headache, and I would not recommend anyone ever do it. But I
Did you
also, like, kind of as a completionist, like, I kind of want it.
did you have to hold it up to your head or something? I don't know how it worked.
No, it had this weird like stand. So it would like sit on your desk. So like if I'm, using my desk here, imagine like this microphone were a bit bigger and had a headset right here. It basically had this kind of setup. So you would like lock your face in there, and then it had a just stupid controller. And I mean, it was stupid. And you would, and the resolution was horrible. It was like basically it was red and black vector graphics, and playing it for more than like 3 minutes at a time was one of the most painful experiences I've ever lived through.
I've seen people play them like on videos. It looks kind of like a Game Boy
Yeah,
graphics.
it's like if Game Boy were bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was well ahead of its time and also well behind its time. And it
hmm
just never caught on for very good reasons. Because now we have legit virtual reality that is amazing.
I'd like to try it. I'd like to try virtual reality sometime.
Yeah, I highly recommend the Oculus Quest, because one, it has a reasonable price tag. Two, it's portable.
Hmm.
And three, it has access to a very wide array of games that are amazing.
I just want to play like Skyrim in VR someday, or put it in the next. I like RPGs a lot, if you couldn't tell.
And hey, I do too.
Really? Okay,
Mass
cool.
Effect is my jam.
I liked Mass Effect, and another one by BioWare I liked a lot was Dragon Age. Did you play that?
I didn't like Origins as much, but I really enjoyed Inquisition.
That's my favorite. That's literally probably my second or third favorite game. I
Nice.
just really like the story a lot. I like BioWare anyway, but
Yeah, BioWare is an excellent developer.
yeah,
I'm very lucky to have known several people who've worked there over the years.
that's super cool.
Oh yeah. Uh, I actually the when I in 2016 I went up to Montreal to visit some friends who were up there because well, originally the trip was planned as like to be a celebration, but then the thing I was celebrating turned into a huge failure, so it became like a commiseration.
Uh-oh.
Uh, and I went up there and spent a week in Montreal and hung out with some friends. Got a Mass Effect tattoo because, you
That's
know,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. At BioWare or
Well, no, it was the tattoo shop itself is known as Encre Noire. Because it's Montreal, and so of course everything's in French. And the artist was recommended to me by my friend who worked at BioWare Montreal.
it's cool, like their corporate tattoo artist.
Uh,
Not really, but
yeah, in a weird way.
yeah.
And yeah, he's a really great artist, and criminally undercharged me
Cool. For you.
because he was worth a hell of a lot more than what I paid.
Awesome.
And yeah,
Was it a big tattoo?
yes, it was an 8.5 hour.
What?
That it's actually it's a Mass Effect tattoo.
8.5 hours?
Yeah, I got a nice like space scene of the Normandy flying through space.
Oh, the ships. The ships are cool in that.
Oh yeah, dude, the ship design in Mass Effect is amazing.
That was one of my favorite parts, was just running around the ship and looking at the computers.
Yeah, they did a good job on that. Like
Yeah.
really, that whole like I mean, I've said this before on the stream and on the show, but I think all Mass Effect games are good, including the ones everyone thinks are bad.
Oh, is that the new one that didn't do as well?
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda did not do as well as it could have, but then again, EA kind of forced them out to market before it was ready
Oh,
against Horizon Zero Dawn,
I
a
haven't played that.
new Nintendo hardware, and a new Legend of Zelda game.
Oh, yeah. They couldn't compete with
No, they
playing
couldn't.
consoles. Oh, I played
uh,
that too. Breath of the Wild's really
oh yeah, that game's brilliant.
yeah.
That is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played.
I love it, and I think it's pretty clear. I'm a little bit inspired by that too.
I could not have guessed that after looking at the video and pictures that you made available on Twitter for Ancient Sky.
Yeah, it's probably pretty obvious.
I mean,
Breath of the Wild is
it's less obvious than, like, if you had gone in with a full cell shade system and your weapons were breaking every 3 hits.
oh, that
But
I didn't like. That was one thing I didn't like about the new Zelda was the durability.
oh yeah, no, that was crap. But it was one of those things that was like, it wasn't a deal breaker for me.
Hmm.
I thought it was bad, but just everything else about the game I thought was excellent, and I appreciate what they were going for and trying to get people beyond their the normal kind of bread and butter of a Zelda game. Like, hey, usually you have a sword and a shield, but now you can have a spear and an axe and a boomerang that hurts things as opposed to just stunning them.
I would love if they're making a sequel to that, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
It looks really cool. I would love if they'd bring back I want to say like traditional kind of like dungeon areas, with the puzzles. I know they had like the shrines or whatever, but I didn't enjoy those as much as maybe I would have with like traditional dungeons, like in Zelda, like in Ocarina of Time and things.
I can understand that.
Um,
Like, I very much appreciated the shrines because they felt like little bite-sized dungeons.
they did, yeah, with the interesting puzzles for sure.
Yeah, and beyond that too, it's just like, I feel that the world they built for for Breath of the Wild was not a world where dungeons really existed, so to speak.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made sense, really.
Yeah, but they kind of did with the great beasts, and then also the mazes that were spread out through the game world as well.
Oh, where you get that special armor. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember those. There's like three or four of them, I think.
Yeah, and it was like the traditional Zelda was there if you were willing to look for it. And
I really enjoyed it. I actually played it all the way through.
I haven't beaten it because I don't want to be done with it.
I know, and it doesn't let you. Well, it does sort of. Like I think it saves right before you beat it, but you can't play after that.
Yeah,
You can just go back to the earlier save, but
yeah, and it's just I don't I don't want it to ever be finished. Yeah.
you'll have to do it right before the sequel comes out, maybe.
I guess.
Then you can jump right into that.
Well, all of this wonderful Nintendo and Mass Effect talk aside,
Hmm.
we are here to talk about Ancient Sky. So you submitted it last month for hashtag Pitch Your Game.
Has it been that long?
Well, I mean, it's been, I mean, last month. It's the 7th of August.
Wow, time is just going so fast. I feel like.
July, it finally starts feeling like 2020 isn't moving along at a slow mo version of a snail watching the world's pace.
Summer's my favorite season, so that's the when it goes fast.
I'm a winter person, but just because,
Really?
like, I'm constantly overheating and winter's the only time that I'm not.
Are you in a colder area or?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I'm in Milwaukee, which has a similar weather pattern to, like, Montreal.
Oh, that's pretty cold.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's the kind
Wow.
of winter that shows you who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I'm the kind of person that would like to fly south.
And you know
No.
what? That's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
All sorts of people in the world. That's why there are warm areas. Well, no, that's not why there are warm areas. There are like real
Yeah.
physical science reasons why the world is warmer. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about Ancient Sky.
It's kind of like a mashup of my kind of the games that I enjoyed growing up. A lot of Dreamcast influences, Skies of Arcadia, like I mentioned. Um, it's an RPG, of course. I like RPGs. It's like pretty much all I play or all I'm good at because you don't have to have like crazy FPS skills or anything. I really like airships that had some Skies of Arcadia had airships. I actually have a pilot's license, so Skies of Arcadia influenced me a lot.
I hate you.
Yeah. Um, and I actually went to the States to do my pilot license. I have a dual FAA and Transport Canada one. I'm from Canada. I don't know if I said that on stream yet.
No, you
Um,
hadn't, but
okay.
we yeah, Halifax, I believe you told me.
Yes, yes, yep, right on the coast, near the water. I can actually see the water from my window when it's not too many leaves in bloom. Yeah, I just like flying. I like aviation. Probably influenced by Skies of Arcadia and other games I grew up playing. Um, Also, Fantasy Star Online was another Dreamcast game that I really enjoyed as a kid. Um, so I kind of mashed up all these games that I enjoyed over the last few years, including some modern ones like the new Zelda, and even Dark Souls, but like not the dark setting, which I do like, but not for my game.
No.
Um, but kind of like I took some cues for the combat and kind of like the progression because it's Ancient Sky's kind of like linear but like story based. Um, I didn't think I could do the whole open world, uh, bunch of million side quests kind of thing, um, as a solo developer.
I
But
mean, that's entirely reasonable. I mean, there's a lot of studios that as tens or hundreds strong can't pull off
yeah,
open world.
yeah.
Um,
So I felt to do something a little more linear. Um, I've kind of broken up the world into like I call them adventure fields, which people that played Sonic Adventure will know what I mean. But I have these kind of areas, different levels basically that you fly to and you explore around, and you can. They're kind of like mini open worlds that you can go wherever you want, and also fly around. And there's like little dungeons that you can explore to
Sounds a
further the
little
story.
like Final Fantasy X did something similar too.
Yes, that was another game I played. That was the first Final Fantasy game that I ever played.
Oh
Because
man,
I
you
had a
missed
PS1.
out.
Yeah, I never had a. I was a Sega kid, so I never had a Sony PlayStation 1,
Oh,
and I
but
never
you
had a.
but
Sorry.
Sega did have the Shining Force series, and that's another one that like I'm a huge fan of.
I don't think I ever played that one. What genre of game is that?
It's a turn-based RPG, kind of like a Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Okay.
And the series is strangely enough really huge, but I only ever played the first two, and they were both on the Genesis.
Oh.
And you can actually, if you get like the Genesis Classics collection, either on like Steam or the Switch, you can actually play them both in emulation. And like, I love those games.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah. So those are RPGs. That's cool. Skies of Arcadia was turn-based as well. Um, and at the time, I think most RPGs were turn-based. I believe. Although I didn't play a lot, but I do kind of prefer real time. I like running around slashing things and burning things and other other things like that I can do in a video game.
should we not look into any fires or anything
Yeah,
up in Halifax there?
yeah.
Because that's the
Hopefully,
impression I'm getting right now.
yeah. I like to keep it confined to a screen.
No.
Um, but yeah, if I had magic ability, it'd be fun. But I don't, as far as I know. Um, but yeah, I like those systems. So I'm doing three different classes in my project. Kind of melee magic, and I haven't done any of the animations for the firearms based class yet, so that's why I haven't showed anything to do with that yet, because it wouldn't be anything to show.
No.
But that's what I have planned for. Um,
So you mentioned you're working on this solo, and so you're handling all of the design,
hmm,
all of the animation,
right.
And I presume the art as well.
Yes, I have been leveraging some marketplace content for all three,
Okay,
and
I'm glad to hear this because otherwise I have a feeling you might be driving yourself slightly mad.
yeah, well, I am too.
No.
I, I like to textures. I'm not very good at 2D, or 2D frustrates me, I guess. So, if there's a I need like bespoke, I guess is the right word, like modeling and things like that for the game and creatures and meshes and characters and things like that. I need that all bespoke. Airships in my case, and some environmental assets I need. Um, but I can use like marketplace textures for a lot of the things. And I do other tricks too, like I use tiling textures, world aligned textures, and things like that to
Yeah.
kind of speed up the development process. But I also try and keep it relatively performant, but I like pretty clouds that are volumetric, and the GPUs don't normally like those as much as I like them. But it's a game about flying, so or
Yeah.
half about flying, so I need nice clouds. Actually, the new Unreal Engine update 426. Have you heard that they're adding their own volumetric cloud solution?
I seem to remember reading something about that, but for the most part, I'm running in 423,
Oh,
and like when I was working on a previous iteration of the show, I think it was going from 418 to 419 or
mm,
419 to 420. It doesn't really matter, but the change from one version to the other literally broke my
broke
workflow.
everything. Okay, yeah.
Like everything worked, and if I was doing my workflow in not VR,
Mm-hmm.
it was fine.
No
But
problem.
in VR, it just it would be
Yeah.
open for 2 minutes, crash
Oh
every
no.
time without fail.
Oh no.
And
I
so I'm at the point where it's like I find a version that works and
stick
I
with it.
stick with it.
I'm like feature crazed. I like every time read the Unreal blog and they're like, "Oh, coming in version whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, need it right now." Including the clouds. Now, I have been using a third-party cloud plugin called True Sky, and I believe it was used on the new Ace Combat's entry. It's like a jet fighter
Oh,
combat
I
plugin.
I know my Ace Combat.
Yeah, so the new one I believe used True Sky, and it's a really cool plugin. It looks absolutely beautiful. Great. The developer of it, I know they have a company now, it's a team, but I believe that the original developer of it is like a it's like a PhD in like some kind of atmospheric physics, or like totally the person you'd think would work on a cloud plugin.
Wow.
Yeah, his name's he's from the UK. I think his name's Roderick Kennedy. I think really super smart guy. So I love True Sky, but I have been running into some bugs with it. I've got a really annoying memory leak that I can't seem to. It's like video memory, and I don't know if it's just in the editor or not. But so I've been trying to like find another solution. But I do love True Sky. But
Well, if you
not very
ever
forgiving.
want to throw out, like crank out an EXE or something, I might know somebody. It's me who has a fair bit of quality assurance and video game industry testing
Oh,
experience. So if you want to get somebody to take a quick look at things, I might know a person.
oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'll put you two in touch. Uh,
Okay. Did, did you just point to yourself on the? Okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, I
Feel
don't
free.
know
Yeah, sure.
what you're talking about.
It's a little
So
bit delayed, so I wasn't
yeah,
sure if it was the stream, but yeah, no, I would love it if you wouldn't mind. That would be a great help for sure.
yeah. I'll see what I can do. I can't make any huge promises, but
Hmm.
if I have like a few spare cycles to throw at it, yeah.
For sure.
Also, too, your game looks cool, and I just want to play it.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh gosh, it's still pretty early. I hope it's starting to feel like a game finally. Like
Yeah.
it was a project, and like I just mashed together a bunch of systems, and like I I kind of like get inspiration to expand the world as I develop systems, like as I'm writing, like as I'm programming, like dialogue managers and things like that. I'll like start to get ideas, which is really weird because I feel like a lot of people have like game design documents that they create, and Oh, guest volume is very low. Am I still very low?
Yeah, you are lower than some other guests. I've turned you up as far as I can on my end.
Mm,
I don't recall exactly what the there's because there is a menu to turn your gain up in Windows, but I don't remember.
am I? Did that help at all? Is that any louder?
It looks on my EQ like you're a bit louder, and you sound a bit louder to me.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
There's some like Discord setting that I've just been
Silly
adjusting.
Discord.
Yeah.
How dare you, Discord? And Fictional Cat, thank you for joining us. So good to see you. Fictional Cat is like my mod supreme.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thanks for the tip about the volume.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I'm not used to
um
Discord calling
no,
yet.
it's totally fine. For as we were talking before the show, you know, life is a learning curve,
Yeah.
and yeah. So you're there, and that's what matters. And yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's you were talking about you want the game to look as pretty as possible,
Yeah.
and all this, and there's always been something that because I'm a big fan of production value. If you
Hmm.
couldn't tell
Yeah.
by my show, which I try and make look nice,
Yeah, it's very
um,
impressive.
well, thank you. I only made the head. Uh,
Oh,
Everything else is from an asset pack, except
right.
for the painting. That is from a really cool artist guy.
Oh, cool. I like
Yeah,
the style.
yeah. All
I like
sculpted in
stylized.
VR.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Yes. I will remind me after the show is over and we're like talking otherwise, and I'll or I'll send you the YouTube link to the video of him sculpting it.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, it was made in Google Blocks, I think.
I've never heard of that.
It's I hadn't either until I saw the video of that, and then I picked it up and found out I suck at it.
Oh, I'm sure I would too. It looks like Mario almost, like
It
with the hat.
is.
Oh,
It is
okay.
the Super Mario World overworld.
Oh, cool. Okay. I never played as much the old classic Mario games because I was a Sega kid again, so
Classic. They were
yeah,
just the games of my childhood.
really. I was in Sonic and Sonic and Sonic Adventure was one of my favorite games growing up as well. So,
I like the
but
old
yeah,
2D Sonics.
I have played them. I've played them. They're good.
They were
There was a
also
new
the
one.
games of my childhood.
Someone kind of made a new like Sonic Mania, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, the one that was made by a bunch of other developers, I
Was it?
believe.
Okay. Was I had a friend that played it and I played it a little bit and it looked really good. It looked very fluid.
Yeah. I
Just
haven't played a Sonic game since Sonic and Knuckles,
did
I
you ever
think.
play you never played the Sonic Adventure series for the
I
Dreamcast?
played a demo
Mhm.
for the first one on Dreamcast,
Mhm.
and I don't know, Sonic, I to me didn't feel like he transitioned over into 3D as well as Mario did.
I think a lot of people thought that, but I think there's a lot of people also some people like me that like that was like one of their first uh intros to Sonic and it's like kind of nostalgic. I'm not sure. I feel like it was like a really good game, but maybe that's like nostalgia talking a bit, but it was fun anyway when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I've as I've kind of gotten older and mellowed out, although I haven't really mellowed out. Uh, I've come
Same.
to the realization that there's no like. I mean, yes, there are games that are bad,
Mhm.
but I find that generally, for the most part, there are every game to an extent is good.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's but there are just also games that are good that I just don't like.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I think, for example, Fortnite. I think Fortnite is very good.
Mhm.
I just hate it.
I'm terrible at it. I wouldn't say that I hate it, but I do hate uh joining and there's these like 13-year-olds that are like better than an AI at the game and you just die immediately somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
And it holds true with books and television as well, and movies, where it's like Citizen Kane, right?
Hmm.
AFI's number one movie of all time, and I fully understand why. I just think that it's garbage.
I have never seen that. I've heard of it. It's like a
Uh, it, Citizen Kane basically invented modern day cinematography.
that's seems like quite a pedigree.
Well,
I
yeah,
yeah.
without getting too into it, prior to Citizen Kane, people just shot movies like they were stage plays.
Hmm.
And Citizen Kane was the first movie to really take advantage of the fact that you can place the camera anywhere as
Right.
opposed to being in set places.
So like super influential in
Yeah.
the future of cinema. I see.
Yeah, so it like invented things like the 180 rule, where like I abide by the 180 rule on this.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, easiest way to explain it is, so we'll take your mannequin and my mannequin over here, right? So we're on a plane, a straight line. So the
Right.
camera can move around us in 180 degrees before it crosses over that plane,
Oh,
thus
I
making
understand.
it, yeah. So it kind
Okay.
of gives the audience, even though the camera is able to be in different places, it gives the audience still a sense of place, because the characters in the scene, us in this instance, still are in the same relative positions
Oh,
to each other.
so it would be weird if it showed like someone's back, basically.
Well, it would be more like, at least how we have this set up for people to watch. You're on the right side of the screen, I'm on the left side of the screen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So people will know effectively, like just without even really having to look at it, if there's a body on the left side of the screen, in this instance, it's me. And if there's a body on the right side, it's likely to be you. Now,
Right.
there are ways to break that rule, but
Mm-hmm.
generally, those are meant to like display things like change in power dynamic and things of that nature.
Wow. You seem to know a lot about like I'm very ignorant about like um film and things. I don't know much.
I'm I'm a very broad spectrum nerd.
Oh,
Uh, so I like to learn a lot about a lot of things.
that's cool.
So I'm trying to get a paleontologist on the show for September or October, and
Wow.
I am just so ready to sit down and talk dinosaurs with somebody who can just
Okay.
beat the snot out of me on dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
watched Land Before Time when I was a kid. Does that count?
I watched that movie so many times,
Really
and
nice.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And Nick, what are we excusing you for? What did I say that offended you, sir? Because I know it was me that said
Uh-oh.
it.
Sonic Adventure 2 was good. Yeah, I liked Sonic Adventure. I also like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I will say, though, the camera is probably objectively bad, but I like the games, both.
Yeah,
But the
3D
camera,
platformer cameras are really hard to pull off.
it's hard for me. It's still a bit janky in my project. It's not bad, I feel like. Um, the I'm gonna keep tweaking it, but it's definitely hard, especially when you have like lots of particles and like moving dynamic things, and the camera spring arm will like get caught on things sometimes. It's just jarring.
Oh, were you mad that I didn't like Citizen Kane?
I
Like,
have never seen it.
yeah, don't feel bad. Uh,
Okay,
like,
that's
don't get me
fair.
wrong. Citizen Kane is an excellent film. It absolutely is. I just have grown up in an era almost 100 years after the fact where other people have taken the lessons learned from it and done much better things, you
Is it
know.
is it quite old, like 50s, 60s or
Oh,
something,
it's
or
like
40s,
20s,
30s,
30s.
20s?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
wow.
it's black and white from the beginning of uh it's literally from the beginning of the talkies,
Oh
from when
wow.
movies had audio. And it's just, uh, who hasn't, you've never met anybody who hasn't liked it. Well, technically, Nick, you've never actually met me, even though you've been a guest on the show. We've never met in person, so you still haven't met anyone who didn't like it. uh,
Wow. That's fair.
Nick was a guest on the show a few months back, actually, too.
Oh, cool.
I still need to send him some money so he can send me a local North Carolina black cherry soda,
Oh,
which is
uh,
very good. It's called
black
Cheerwine. So
black
good.
cherry reminds me of White Claw. The black cherry.
I have not had a beer in a very, very long time, and I don't think White Claw was a thing when I stopped drinking.
Probably true. Yeah, I think that we just got them in Canada, so I think so. I think they're from California. I don't know. Also, I used to live near um, North Carolina, in a little south of there, in Georgia. That's where I did
Oh.
my. That's where I went to college.
Oh, did you go to what? Savannah College of Art and Design?
No, no, I
Oh.
went to Falcon Aviation Academy.
Oh.
It's outside of. It was actually in Noonan, but I lived in Peachtree City, which is 40 minutes to an hour south of Atlanta. Um,
I've driven past there in some, at least in a broad sense,
oh,
because
cool.
I've driven from Chicago down to Florida, and the easiest route passes straight through on, I think it's what, 75.
Yes, yes, the 75 and the 85. I remember they kind of like north to south.
I did not like driving through Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
all the Confederate flags.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I probably just didn't even notice. I don't even remember.
You had mentioned earlier that if you had you don't know if you have magical powers. I frequently think that if I ever had an absurdly specific mutant or magical power,
Mm-hmm.
I wish that it could be to telekinetically set either Nazi or Confederate flags on fire with my mind.
Wow. Oh, we don't have many of those here.
Well, that must be nice, but
It, I mean, we did. There's probably a few. I'm sure there's some interesting folks around,
yeah.
but
But the South will rise again, says the
yeah,
Canadian who had no horse in the race. But
probably. I'm sure there's people around.
But
I
yeah,
don't
I'd
know.
love to be able to just set those on fire.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, just any loser flags.
I
But
think I think we'd be mostly not on fire here, hopefully, but
in
there's not been.
Wisconsin, we'd be pretty well set because
Okay.
it's up in the north, and if memory serves, I don't even think it was a state at the time that any of that was
Oh,
an issue.
really?
But we've got
That's
50 states. It's really hard to figure out when everybody got brought into the union. Uh,
I don't. Yeah, I'm a little bit ignorant on American history.
that's fine. We're ignorant on Canadian history.
Oh, fair. Um, I know Wisconsin. That's near Canada. Is it border Canada? I think. Is that right?
We don't physically border Canada. We are on the other side of Great Lakes from Canada.
Is it like Erie?
No, Erie is Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
We're on Michigan and Superior, I think.
Oh, okay. So you're not far from Lake Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. If I could, if there weren't houses or anything like straight this direction,
Mm-hmm.
I could see Lake Michigan from here.
Wow.
But there are
Cool.
houses and trees and things.
I think Oshkosh is in Wisconsin. Is that correct?
Yes.
The big air show in Wisconsin, in Oshkosh,
Well,
Wisconsin.
probably
Yeah.
not this year, but no.
Not this year, no. I think everything's closed now.
Yes,
Um, but
thankfully. I mean,
yeah, yeah, we're definitely closed here. We have a little Atlantic bubble, where they call it. That's what the premiers call it. So everyone within like our little Atlantic provinces can travel, and then anyone outside, like even from Ontario, they have to isolate if they come here
wow.
for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, it's working pretty well.
Chicago is about 2 hours drive south of here.
Okay.
And if I were to go to Chicago to like do anything more, like to do anything really, I'd have to submit to a 2 week quarantine
Wow, that's
because
fun.
our in Wisconsin, our
Mhm.
COVID-19 cases have just like skyrocketed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean,
Um,
I am too, but I mean, like, everyone I'm directly related to up here is fine.
okay, good.
So, and we're also doing the responsible things like
We
distancing and
Yeah,
masks.
we haven't had any cases. We did have two travel-related cases, but we haven't had any community spread for I think 2 months. So it's looking pretty good here. Hope, luckily, we do have the mask order for indoor areas,
Nice.
um, since like last week or 2 weeks ago. But I'm hoping we're doing pretty well.
Nice.
So
Fictional cat, Lake St. Clair. Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know where that is. Is that in Wisconsin?
I don't know, but it sounds familiar. But I mean, there's like a bajillion lakes up here, so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
who even knows? I mean, Minnesota's right next door, the land of 1,000 lakes, and
Is it?
well, that's what they call it. I haven't actually like gone over to count myself, but
So is Wisconsin considered the Midwest? Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. I'm an East Coaster originally, but I really enjoy it out
Oh,
here in the
nice.
Midwest. Yeah,
Same. Where on the East Coast?
I'm from Maryland originally.
Oh, I drove through there when I was going home, and uh,
I
I'm
apologize for the
thinking
quality of our roads and our drivers.
I'm used to it here. It's pretty bad here too. Yeah, I I got lost sort of because I was going up the 95
hmm
and like it turns into the 295 and the 395, and I just kept following the signs that say north,
Oh
and it just took me
God.
in a big circle over and over again.
Oh yeah,
And
you ended up on the Capitol Beltway. I am so sorry.
you know exactly where it is.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Well, there's two 295s that I know of. The
Mhm,
one that is relevant to Maryland is the Capitol Beltway 295, and then there's the
right.
one in New Jersey, which is an alternate to the New Jersey Turnpike,
Oh,
because uh, the vagaries of state roads and interstate roads allow for things that have the same name, which isn't
weird.
confusing at all.
Yeah. Um, and I remember I had to stop for the night in the middle of nowhere in Maryland. I don't know where. And when I got up, because it was too late, it was like 2 in the morning. And when I got up, I went to the store. Like I went to like a convenience store to find a map. Maybe I didn't have data, or I don't remember. But I went to find a map, and they had a map of every single state except the one I was in.
hmm
So that was unfortunate. But some I don't remember what they were, local police or something like that. They happened to just pull into the parking lot, and I started asking about it, and they were like, "Oh, you fell for the old 95 trick or something." So
Yeah, they were probably all like, "Oh, you silly Canadians."
yeah, I guess I would have had Canadian plates, so if they noticed, they would have been like, "Ah."
Yeah,
Um,
well, in Maryland, we don't need maps because we all know where we're going.
that's true. Yeah, it was a
Lakes,
traveling Canadian.
yeah, and it's a lake in Michigan. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
I'm waving east right now towards you in Michigan, fictional
Mm-hmm.
cat. I hope you can see me.
I'll
No.
see you as well.
I think for you, I'd have to go northeast.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see, that would be.
I don't know.
There we
We're
are.
we're about the same plane, I think, or line of latitude, I think, as Maine, I believe,
Yeah,
because
that's
we're
still no wait.
that's still
Actually, yeah,
north. I don't know.
I'm trying.
We're actually like,
Yeah, no, actually, that would be almost. You'd be slightly norther than east
hmm
for
hmm
me, because I'm in the southeastern corner of the state.
Oh, okay.
So,
I I found out the other day that I'm on the same plane of line of latitude as like northern Italy, and we're not. We don't have the climate as northern Italy.
well, you don't have the Mediterranean.
That's true. Yeah, we don't get this
If
nice
it weren't
warm.
for the Gulf Stream, your island would not be habitable.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's compared
So,
to the rest of Canada, we're pretty warm.
well, I mean,
We
that's
don't get.
because the rest of Canada is populated by 1% of the population. But
Yeah, that's true.
it's
Um,
geography, Nick, not geology. Uh,
True. Talk
if we
about
started,
rocks.
if we start going into the strata of the bits of crust our local places are on, that would be geology. Although anytime anybody says geology, I just think Breaking Bad, and Hank can be like, "They're minerals, Marie," but
I've never seen that show.
I love it.
I haven't watched a lot of television shows or shows. I guess they're not really on television anymore.
Well, I
Streaming.
mean, Breaking Bad was.
Was,
It
yeah.
was originally a television show.
Mm-hmm.
And most people watch shows on their television, regardless of whether they're being streamed or not, unless they're lazy
That's
like me
true.
and just watch it on their computer. But
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
I do have
um,
Netflix, but I don't really watch a lot.
I don't know if Breaking Bad is on Canadian Netflix, but I know it's
Oh,
on American Netflix.
okay. Hmm.
So it's worth a watch. It's like roughly 50 episodes of high quality television.
That's a lot. Wow. To dedicate like a week.
That's yeah, I mean, well, for 5 seasons, that's not
Okay.
really that bad considering that like say Star Trek The Next Generation was 24 episodes a season times 7. So we're looking at over 100 episodes of television there.
Wow. That was on when I was a kid, I think. Or maybe not that one. No, the next one. The next one.
Deep Space Nine or Voyager were definitely on while you were a kid.
I think it was Voyager. I think that was on when I was a kid. That's with what's her name? She's
Janeway,
really, yeah, the actress.
Kate Mulgrew.
Yes, 'cause she was in Dragon Age. That was
Yes,
really cool. I saw her name.
she
I was like, what?
was blah, 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 blah. Not Morrigan. Morrigan's mother.
The Yeah, she was like the elf.
Yeah, she's
I don't want to
awesome.
spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. So
Oh,
maybe somebody hasn't played it.
uh, spoiler. No, whatever. But we're so off target,
That's true.
which is fine because this is what the show is here for.
Okay,
Um,
good.
well, I was going to ask you a question as to whether or not you were working with a team or as a solo dev, and you answered that.
Yeah.
So
Oops, I preemptively
it's
sniped that one.
okay. They're not like if I actually read you the notes that I wrote for the show, you would think I was incapable of speaking in complete sentences.
Oh no.
Because my notes, for the most part, are just like little prompts for me
Kind of like your own
to,
shorthand.
yeah, except that I generally forget what I actually meant when I wrote them.
Oh no.
And I just kind of wing it. So, when we were talking before the show, you said that this is you're working on Ancient Sky in your free time,
Yes.
outside of your day job. So
Right.
when you're doing kind of splitting everything up like that, what's something you do to help try and maintain like a solid work life balance?
Um, to kind of get motivated, to kind of get.
Well, I mean,
Or,
it's just from my perspective, um,
mm-hmm.
you know, I'm just going to make just random assumption and just go with like say working a normal 9 to 5 job and then coming home and then having to put that work, well, not having to, but
Mm-hmm.
choosing to then also put that those free hours into something that's
Oh,
kind of like effectively a second job. It's just like,
for sure.
yeah,
I guess it's because I want to do it because I kind of like there's still things that I enjoy. Like I know that when you work on a project for a long time, no matter how much you enjoy it, you kind of start to not hate it, but like hate doing it at some point. And usually, sometimes I get at that level when I'm really frustrated doing something doesn't come out right, or my editor crashes, or something ridiculous like that.
I know
But
that feeling
most,
too well.
yeah, yeah, or you lose a bunch of work, or you forget how your own code works, which happens to me a lot. Um,
I put so many comments. I have comments on my comments.
yeah, I use colors. I like colors. I color every input screen, and I color loops red. And I use a lot of Blueprint. I use C++ for things like exposing things to Blueprint. Like, for example, I just exposed skeletal mesh merge to Blueprint, which was nice. Um, but I do a lot of things in Blueprint because uh, I know that Blueprint doesn't execute quite as fast, but with this conversion tool, it's pretty comparable. But if I did run into a performance issue, then I would switch it over to C++. But the main performance issues, not issues, but uh, the main cause of the main user of CPU and GPU cycles on my project is by far like lighting,
Yeah,
which isn't the script. I have very open environments, um, very not like huge, but 4 to 8 square kilometers usually. And I have to use like the distance field ray trace shadowing, whatever it's called, and that's why that's why I need a good GPU. Um, because it looks weird if faraway objects don't have shadowing, and I think that's what Fortnite uses as well. I've been trying to look at what Fortnite does and say, well, Fortnite runs in everything, so if they're using it, I can probably use it too.
Nice. Well, you kind of led into my next question, which was why the choice to go with Unreal?
I've been using Unreal for a long time, mostly just like for fun. I actually used Unreal 3, and that was a long time ago, and I was just a modder. I think I was in flight school then. Um, and it had something called Kismet, which is like the ancestor to Unreal. And at that time,
I
they
know
were using,
Kismet well.
you know, Kismet? Yeah, they
I
were
also
using.
started in UDK, so
That's cool. That's right. It was called UDK.
well, there
Um,
was Unreal 3, but UDK was the free version for the modding
yes,
community.
yes, and it was like that's what I used. Used Kismet, and that's attracted me to it over Unity. Um, and I know, I think they used Unreal Script, and they didn't. I don't think the source was available for UDK. Like you couldn't
Nope.
do C++ yourself, so it was like Unreal Script, and I didn't want to learn Unreal Script because like the only thing that used Unreal Script was Unreal. So
Mm-hmm.
um, but I did actually learn a little bit of Unreal Script, but I mostly used Kismet, and that's kind of what um attracted me to Unreal or UDK at the time. And then Unreal 4 came out, and Blueprint was so much more powerful than Kismet and more performant. Um, so I just kept on it and kept learning, and I got to the point where I'm like, I'm having a lot of fun with Unreal. I've always wanted to make this project that kind of brings a lot of the games back that I played when I was younger, kind of scratch that itch. Um, so I might as well just do it. I might as well. This was, I think, in September or October of last year, 2019. I was like, I'm just gonna put all the things together that I've been thinking in my head and actually try and make a project out of it. And I know that a lot of the common advice that's probably really, really good advice, it's definitely really, really good advice, is when it's your first like commercial project to start really small and do things like that. But I'm really bad at listening to advice, so I just went right
I
into
was
like my
just
dream
about to
project.
say, it sounds like
Yeah,
you've been listening to it so well.
yeah, I'm really bad at like I don't know. I'm just not good at listening to advice. So I did do a few small projects actually. So I semi listened. I just didn't release them ever.
Yeah.
I did some. I did a like a out. Do you ever heard of Outrun? Um,
Yes.
I did an Outrun game with flying cars,
Hmm.
with lots of neon colors and things like that, kind of like synth wavy style, and that was
See,
pretty
now you're
cool.
speaking my language.
Do you like that too? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like if you couldn't tell, I'm a bit of like a cyberpunk enthusiast.
Yeah, me
Uh,
too.
so it's just if it were be like I have put serious thought into like completely re-artistically designing this in a more like William Gibson-esque way, but I
Oh,
think it would hurt people's eyes.
oh, really? Like neon
Yes.
everywhere?
Yeah.
Is who Gibson? Sorry, I didn't.
William Gibson, he's the author of Neuromancer. He's basically kind of like he's one of the fathers of cyberpunk.
Oh wow, like the whole genre. That's
Yeah.
cool.
He invented a lot of the terms we use for the internet before ARPANET was open to the public.
Oh, that's like long before I was born, I think.
Yeah, because if I want to say Neuromancer was published between 80 and 84.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the olden days.
Can someone give me the rundown? What is going on here? Well, Namar Boots, I think it is.
Um,
My name is Thom. I am running a fun motion capture robot person to have a fun little, VR podcasty talk with Timi over here about the game that they're working on called Ancient Sky. So am I being motion captured at the moment? You got it. You nailed it. I'm
wow.
running all in Unreal right now, real time, 3-point motion tracking using consumer VR hardware.
Wow.
I'm going to start working on getting 3 more tracking points on here, but I was gonna start like working on that. But I'm also I'm using a Valve Index, honestly, and I'm just going to be adding Vive trackers. Things like Xsens and Rococo are way down the line
I don't
because
know what those are.
well, Xsens
Mm.
is an inertial motion capture suit that does all of its own inside out tracking, as opposed to like normal motion capture suits require lots and lots of cameras and
Mhm.
points and stuff. Xsens does that all internally using things like
Accelerometers,
accelerometers. Yeah,
right?
um,
Yeah.
but it's an $18,000 suit.
Oh.
And then you have Rococo. I haven't heard of OptiTrack before, but I'm going to look them up after the show. And Rococo does something very similar for roughly a tenth of the cost. But their suit, while very good, is not quite as good as Xsense.
I
Um,
know a little bit about inertial guidance systems because, like when I was
well, you're a
training,
pilot.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, like most small airplanes just use like physical gyroscopes, but a lot of the more larger aircraft use like laser rings and things like that. I know that a laser ring gyroscope or an I forget, like a fiber optic gyroscope, I think they're like 100 grand or something like that. Just ridiculous amounts of money, but they're really, really accurate and don't drift that much.
This is my I can't believe that something that goes into a plane is that expensive face.
Yeah. Well,
Curious to
also,
know if you've tried the Unreal Live Link Face app yet, as well for live streaming face animation. Looks like rigs are pretty limited though at the moment. I've downloaded it. I haven't tried it. Sorry, but yeah. So Unreal just put out their Live Link Face Control app, which uses the selfie camera of your phone to run a full facial rig in real time.
wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's going to be huge for a lot of the virtual production folk, or if I had a face that was not just a computer, it would be nice to be able to run animations with that. Um,
I've
I've
heard
thought
that a
about
lot
it.
of people in film are starting to use Unreal, which is really cool.
It's because of that is where the idea of the show actually came from.
Oh, cool.
Um,
That's awesome.
because they were using Unreal on Star Wars Rogue One,
Oh,
and they were using it to do real time previs on uh, on for K2SO,
okay.
the big tall Alan Tudyk droid character. And when I
I
saw that
see.
that's how they did that, I was like, man, there's got to be a way to do that at home.
Mm-hmm.
And that set me on the path to making the show. And
Wow.
well, hey, I'm glad you found the stream at all, because like this is a fun little show I like to do. I do 4 to 6 episodes a week. Um, yeah, so if you're having fun hanging out, I feel free to drop a follow. If not, just keep an eye out and swing on by. Like next week, I think I have solid 6 episodes booked for next week, if memory serves. I
Wow.
clearly don't have my calendar immediately available, but
You're gonna be pretty busy though.
yeah, uh, about 80% of my shows every month are people whose projects I pick out from Pitch Your Game. And thank you
Wow.
for that follow, honestly. I was not expecting that. Thank you. If I could heart hands, I would. So,
Well, thanks so much for picking my
thumbs up.
project.
Yeah. Well, as I was saying earlier, I get to pick the projects that I just think look fun.
I was
So,
really
it's easy.
happy
Yeah. Well,
that
dude, I'm happy to have you here.
I was really pleased as well to be able to get a little bit of traction with the pitcher game hashtag because I didn't even know about it until I think 2 hours before
Wow.
it ended. I have a friend who's in all the discords, and he told me he was like, "You need to you need to take advantage of uh, this hashtag, this pitcher game thing." And I was like, "I don't even know what that is." He was like, and he helped me write it and everything. So really appreciate Krister for doing that to and helping me because
Awesome.
it worked well because I never would have known about it at all.
Well, we're happy to have had you pitch your game. I mean, clearly I am by virtue of the fact that
Thank
I
you.
got a guest on my show out of it. And
Yeah.
Zeno Aura, thank you for the follow too. But yeah, it's Liam Toos started it up at the end of May,
Oh, okay.
and it's been going on monthly. I came on, like, I'm officially the chief streamer, which means that I
Cool.
just reach out to a bunch of devs and I talk to you guys on stream. And generally, it ends up turning out that I make like internet friends and I get to see cool games.
Awesome.
So it's like a win-win for me. Uh,
So not that long, so since May, so not too long, but
yeah,
it's cool. That
it kind of all just kind of started out. I mean, it's how I got to meet Nicodemus in chat, and then let's see. I build motion capture head cameras, so I was looking to see what people were doing in face animation. Well, probably tune back into the show. Very innovative format. Thank you. Well,
yeah.
I super appreciate it. I'm still working on figuring out like other things to do with the format because like this is fun, but like I need to get my interactivity going. I want to grab
Oh.
my coffee cup and be able to like take a sip and you
Oh,
know,
that'd be cool.
I
You,
want to I want to be able to do stupid pardon my French, but I want to be able to do stupid shit on my stupid show. Uh
well, I like your show. It's
Thank
really
you.
it is innovative. You ran down all the it's like the 50 programs that you used to to produce it, and I was like, I don't even know what those are.
The holy grail is being able to run everything from within the environment.
Wow. You could like
Um
run somebody's game in the background.
yeah,
That'd be different.
like if I scaled this all, like I also have a plan to do like a sister project of this,
Oh, okay.
where I can literally just throw a tracker on my head and do like a streaming setup. So because I'm running an editor, I can't run a game at the same
Right.
time because it's
Right.
just my system is built for multitasking,
Oh yeah,
but it has limits.
for
Um,
sure.
but if it's a low yield exe, yeah, I can run another game parallel with it, no problem.
Could you stream the footage in right into
Yes.
the Oh.
So, and I tested it last summer, so I know
Mhm.
it'll work. So
That's
what I can
cool.
do is I can, like, as I'm compositing right now in Streamlabs, I'm just gonna get even less sleep. Nick, do you know how much sleep I got last night? I got 10 hours of sleep last night. He thinks I work really hard, and I'm not gonna say I don't work hard, but he thinks I work really hard a lot more than I actually do.
Oh.
I just work really hard for small, like several mini chunks throughout the day,
Mhm.
and then I maintain a solid sleep schedule.
That's good. I need to fix my sleep schedule. It's bad.
It's Oh, my sleep schedule isn't fixed, but
Oh
it's
no.
solid. Uh,
Good. Okay.
but yeah,
That's doing good.
so I can very theoretically run like a smaller version of the show while running a game, and then composite that all together and throw that up in a stream.
Wow. That would be cool. So would you run that in parallel with your current show? Is that what your plan was?
Well, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it all out. Like
Yeah.
it's I've been doing this for a few months, so it's like I feel like it's time to like add something to the repertoire.
Mhm. Mhm.
Since I have this level of work down, let's like add one thing into it, and then
Right.
play with that for a while and see if that's a doable thing. And then if that's still doable, and I feel I still have the energy for it, let's add another thing to it.
Mhm.
So
That
that's
sounds
kind of the
cool
plan.
though. It's cool to innovate and iterate as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're game developers here. Iteration is all
Yeah.
just part of the game. Uh-oh, there's a cat moving. I heard
Uh-oh.
it. Where'd you
What?
go, Patrick? Oh,
Oh
he's
no.
leaving me alone. It's okay.
Oh, crisis averted.
Yeah, this time.
Yeah. He'll be back.
Well, we have talked a lot and
Mhm.
covered pretty much everything
Mm.
that I had. So, have I done an inside? Have you done an inside look at your setup? Not yet. I've thought about it.
Mm.
I haven't like I there's like two videos that I want to do that I haven't made yet. One is the inside look at the setup, which I haven't done yet because my office looks like a Category 1 hurricane went through it,
Same.
and I want to clean it up first. In video number two, this is the third or fourth iteration of this show. I want to take all of the old clips of the show that like nobody's ever seen and cut those together in like a clip show of like, oh, remember the good old days kind of thing, and then put that up for everybody to see too, because dude, this show was so stupid back in the day. And I don't mean like it was stupid like it was funny stupid. I mean, I put it together in a really stupid way. But yeah. So, where I'm that previous train derailed, get back on main. All right. So, that brings us now to one of my favorite parts of the show, which is how many shows are we talking here? That was actually Nar Boots. Hit me up on Twitter after the show. You can find me at Thom Clancy, THOM Clancy. The H is really important. And I will very gladly talk to you about like a lot of the questions. And I don't think we're just going to have to take Timi's word for it that they dabbed, but dab.
And it's like that gesture thing.
Yeah. It's one of my things. Well, I mean, we don't have a video of you. I mean, your picture, unless you're really good at staying really still.
I tried.
That was an excellent dab. Well done. But yeah, so my favorite part of the show, which is affectionately called the 5 questions. Strangely enough, it's a series of 5 questions that I put together before the show that really have pretty much nothing to do with anything that we've talked about prior to this point. So question number 1, you've actually already accidentally answered this question. What is your favorite genre of video game?
Yeah, RPGs for sure. That's like all I play, pretty much. ARPGs are cool. I like slashy, burn things, but RPGs in general, for sure.
Nice.
Skyrim, old JRPGs. It's all my favorite.
Then you definitely need to check out Final Fantasy IX. Just saying.
Yeah. I've heard 7's really popular too.
7 is very popular, but 9 is the best. I don't care what anybody says.
9's your favorite? Okay, cool.
No. 9 is my favorite.
Yeah.
But it's also the best.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And then also Chrono Trigger from the SNES era.
Is that the one that looks like Dragon Ball Z?
Kind of, yes.
Oh, okay.
But that was like the last great 16-bit era RPG to come out, and it was so good.
Interesting. I've seen it. I've seen pictures of it.
You can get it for, I imagine, well, no, I can't say inexpensive because I don't know what like the physical marketplace is like for it. But they did make a 3DS port of it. So
my friend has a 3DS, so that's cool.
Yeah, so it's not the hardest game to find. Question number 2. What is your dream job?
Well, I guess it would be a little cliche to say game developer, because it's not really my job, but maybe in the future it would be my job. That would be nice.
I mean, hey, it's not cliche.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be really fun, I think, at this time. I mean, I'm into aviation and things like that as well. But being a game developer right now would definitely be a dream job.
I am still very jealous of your ability to fly planes.
Yeah, it's fun. You should get your license sometime. You can start out. I have a commercial, but you can start out with like a private.
I've thought about it, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? Expensive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. Even a private's pretty expensive, but I think you need. I think it's 45 hours or 50 hours. I forget what you need for a private, but.
I also want to learn how to fly helicopters. I think they're just more fun.
I've never flown a helicopter. It would be fun though.
Well, I've clearly never flown one, but I've been in one, and it was very cool.
Cool, yeah. They're interesting machines.
Yes.
I read a couple books on them.
I think the joke is helicopters fly because the ground thinks they're too ugly to be there or something like that.
Maybe,
they're too ugly to sit on the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just like, whoa, dude, helicopters are beautiful.
There's a
But
lot of interesting ones, like tandem rotors are cool.
mhm.
There's the coaxial, really interesting designs.
All right, we're nerding out here. I'm sure that Nick is all like, "Oh no, now they're going to talk aviation theory
Oh
and
gosh.
Bernoulli's principle and all this stuff." Yeah, we could. But
I've yeah.
I've got a question number 3 for you.
Uh-oh, okay.
What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Um, gosh, I did watch Star Wars, Space Wars, Star Wars. I like them. I didn't watch the newest ones though. Like I don't remember what they're called. Like like the new trilogy that came out.
Yep, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. 2 of them are worth seeing. One is not.
Okay, I think I only saw the newest one, or not. Sorry, not the newest one. The first one of those.
Okay, that is one of the 2 that's worth seeing.
Okay, okay, I think I saw that one. But I think like when I was a kid, the they're called the prequels. I think
Mhm.
the prequels are out, and I think I liked those better, which probably is not the right answer. People will be angry,
I
but
wasn't asking you which is the best. I asked which
okay.
was your favorite.
Just because I grew up with it, like when I was a kid, they came out, so probably one of those.
Yeah.
The prequels, maybe like the second one or the third one. Um, I just thought it was cool. I like flying around in big spaceships when I was a kid, and thought that was cool. And like lightsabering things,
You know,
lightning
I thought we
things.
were going to be internet friends, but then no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um
What's your favorite?
well, God,
One of the older
that
ones?
is such a honestly, that is one of the hardest questions for me to answer.
Yeah.
Because I would usually say Return of the Jedi. Again, favorite, not best.
Right. Right.
Because
Okay.
one of my favorite aspects of Star Wars is the like World War II dogfighting aspect of it, and Return of the Jedi has like one of the best space battles of all
Right.
time. Um,
I think it's
Also,
because it was too far before my time, maybe that I didn't watch those when I was a kid as much.
I can moderately understand that.
Yeah.
No, they
I'm sure if I
were
rewatched them.
harder to track down. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but Rogue One is also a very good one.
Oh,
And uh, I don't, and you don't have to answer very carefully on the new trilogy ones because the 2 that are worth watching are The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And the one that's not worth watching is The Rise of Skywalker.
I see. I don't think I saw those
Um,
for sure.
and you can disagree with me if you want, but you're wrong. And Rogue One was excellent because Rogue One actually brought the war to Star Wars in a way that felt really realistic and excellent.
Is that on
Um,
Netflix or I don't.
no, it's all on
Uh,
Disney Plus though.
oh, I don't think I've seen it. I might. I'm sure I'd like it a lot if I saw it. I just
Uh,
haven't seen it.
yeah, it's got a really good cast. I mean, that is not to say that it doesn't have its issues because it does, but it's
Mm,
an excellent movie.
okay.
Um, yeah. So, and
I
then,
thought
oh,
I thought Darth Maul was cool when I was a kid, so
oh, Darth Maul's amazing.
that's probably why I picked the prequel one
I
or
also,
whichever.
if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend the Clone Wars TV series and its
Oh,
follow-up series Rebels,
okay.
especially if you like Darth Maul.
Yeah, that was when I was a kid. I was like, thought it was cool.
Because, spoiler alert, he's not actually dead.
Oh wow.
So yeah. Um, but when he does actually die, oh
Oh,
my God, one of the best scenes in Star Wars history.
rest in
It's
peace.
so perfect.
Okay, that's in
Um,
the cartoon one or the.
yes, that's in Rebels.
Oh, okay.
It is one of the most perfect scenes in television.
Wow. Dang.
So that's how I feel about it.
That sounds good.
And yes, Rogue One does have one of the best movie trailers of all time. But
That
question
was a
number,
hard question. That was a
I
hard question. I
oh
haven't seen many of them.
no, that's fine. I mean, like it's a hard question for people who've seen them all.
Hmm.
Fictional cat, you know what to do. Um, silly buy followers bot. You know,
Become Is it a bot?
yeah,
Nice.
that's a bot. You know, that's when you know you've made it when bots show up in your channel. Uh,
Yeah.
Question number 4: the Loch Ness monster, real or fake?
Isn't it supposed to be like a dinosaur? Probably.
Well, that's
Yeah. Like,
not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you think it's real or
uh,
if it's fake.
I I think they would have found it with like sonar. Like, it is it like does it have to be the one that's like actually in
Yeah,
like Loch Ness, Scotland?
yeah.
I think they would have found it. I think it's probably not real
I
because like
th-
sonar,
yeah.
like
No,
floating pretty big.
you're absolutely on point with that one. Look, so, I like to ask random questions, and
Mhm.
like I'm a big fan of cryptids in general.
What's
I've
that?
Cryptids are is a blanket term for animals that exist outside of scientific classification. So like things like
Oh,
Sasquatch,
Sam
the
Squanch.
Loch Ness monster, things like
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
Um, God, I was not expecting a Trailer Park Boys joke right there.
Did you know that it's filmed
Yes,
where I live?
I do know.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I've met a few of them.
that was Bubbles. But
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
I do I it was one of those shows I binge watched a lot of it, and I just
Mhm.
kind of like lost my appreciation of it, because when you watch anything that goes on that long,
Mhm.
that quick, you just kind of grow to hate it. Uh
I I like season 1 and 2 the most
yeah, those are the best.
because they're not even fiction. That's literally just Halifax.
Hmm.
There's nothing fictional about it. That's how it is.
Hmm.
Um,
But yeah,
Randy is really nice. My friend's dad worked with him.
Randy's the guy
Uh,
who never wears a shirt, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
He's really
seems
nice.
like he's a pretty legit dude.
Pat Roach is a super nice guy. Mr. Leahy,
Yeah.
before he passed away.
Oh,
Um,
what?
yes, unfortunately.
That's so
John
sad. He was one of
J-
my favorites.
John Dunsworth a couple of years ago unfortunately passed away. Super nice guy. Met him twice. Um, he used to kind of play a character in public. Like he'd kind of play his character kind of. He's kind of like put on a show. Super nice guy though. Great guy.
Oh
Um,
man, that kind of just like
yeah,
that. Wow. But yeah, so cryptids, like animals like Sasquatch and Loch Ness monster. Yeah, those are cryptids.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of like them, but as you said, if they were real, we would have found them by now.
Hmm.
Especially like Sasquatch, because if it was real, we'd have
Hmm.
hit one with a car by now, like
Ooh, we
Harry
got
and the Hendersons.
we do have Sam Losco. He's probably pretty close. He's there.
Oh, I
It's
do
nice.
miss that show.
It's nice I can make references.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, broad spectrum nerd.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's 20 minutes away from my house probably. It was filmed.
that's just
Season
crazy.
1. Season 1 was 15, 20 minutes.
Nice,
In Sackville. The first season.
nice. Well, and now we're on question number 5,
Uh-oh.
last one. I think you've kind of accidentally also implied your
Oh
answer on
no.
this one too. Uh, are you excited for the next gen consoles and GPUs?
Yes. So, I really like the features of. I'm not a console player, but I'd like to kind of become one,
Yeah,
maybe. I haven't owned a console since the Xbox 360, but the capabilities of the new SSDs in the new consoles, it's really interesting. Like, I've seen some demos where they almost have no uh, loading screens at all. They stream it all in almost in real time. It's really cool. Um, I've obviously been focusing on Unreal Engine 5 on the new consoles, with things like dynamic lighting, like real-time gloop illumination. The what's it called? Nanite. It's almost like some kind of I don't know what it is. Some kind of like
oh
dynamic
yeah.
LOD generator thing that allows you to have like base meshes with like millions or billions of polygons or something, which is really cool. And also, uh, generating LODs is boring, so it'd be cool to not have those anymore.
And you know
Uh,
what? I'm probably going to stick with Unreal 4 because I like sitting with like low try count, silly
oh,
scenes.
that's fair. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, like
the lighting looks cool. The lighting technology.
that'll probably be reason enough for me to change, if only if, especially if it helps increase VR quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, lighting in VR is a very expensive thing, and like on my
I bet.
perspective, like I'm broadcasting out at 30 FPS, which is nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
trying to run dual 144 hertz displays, like
Right.
I'm
Right.
probably pulling 60 to 70 FPS right now with noticeable lag. Like
Wow.
long streams in this kind of get a little nauseating. But,
Mm-hmm. I bet.
you know, but
I've heard you really high refresh rates.
yes. It's one of the nice things about the index is that it comes stock at like 100, I think it's 100 hertz display, but you can overclock to 144.
Wow.
So, and I was just like, experimental mode, yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, so
So I am pretty excited for the new consoles. I don't know which one I like more. I guess it'll probably depend on what kind of games there are. There's some cool games that coming up for Sony console, like the Demon Souls
oh,
remake.
is it? Yeah, it is a full remake, isn't it?
I believe, yeah, I think it's like a new engine and everything, which is interesting to me because I like the Souls games. Um, and I like the design of the PS5. I like that the Xbox, what's it called? Xbox One S or X or
Xbox Series X.
Series X, right? There's so
Yeah.
many weird names.
Bye, Nick. Thanks
Um,
for stopping by. Um,
I,
yeah,
I think it's efficient, like with the updraft cooling, which is interesting, but it does look a bit like a fridge. Uh,
yeah. We get a Wi-Fi router and a fridge this generation.
yeah. So I kind of like the design of the PS5 more, but I don't know which one I'll buy. I don't know.
Right
But
now, I know I'm personally leaning towards neither,
okay, fair enough.
because like I'll hold off on the PS5, not because I don't care about the design. Actually, I like the design. I think it looks
Mhm.
really nice, and it's a big stark contrast to the previous generations of PlayStation
Yes,
hardware.
just
Um,
boxes.
but there's nothing that's coming out for it immediately that I feel a need to own on day
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
But because of the way Microsoft is moving their business towards also making everything kind of like day and date PC as well,
Yes, right.
like, why do I want to spend a whole bunch of money on the new Xbox when I know I'll be able to play it on my PC
Hmm.
at, like, ooh, Xbox 4K 60 frames per second. Like, that's nice and all, but I mean, I could play, in 1440p at 144,
Right.
you
So
know.
if everything's on PC already,
Yeah.
there's no
Uh,
point for sure. Are they doing that with everything? Like even the new Halo? Not that I play
yeah.
Halo.
The new Halo is going to be out on PC.
Wow.
And that's really the thing, the kicker for me,
I feel
you
like it's a
know.
risky move on their part.
Well, in a
Uh,
weird way, I think that I think that it is one of the least risky moves by virtue of the fact that uh, there will always be people who will be buying consoles, just as there will always be people who are playing on PC.
mhm. Mm.
Um, but PC will always have that higher barrier for entry by virtue of
Mhm.
the fact that, to build a quality PC is going to still run at least $1,000. And that's before you even get into peripherals,
Mhm.
whereas everybody owns a TV
Right.
and the console's only going to cost like maybe $600. I mean,
Yeah.
not like that, not to say that any of that is a small amount of money at all,
Compared to a
but
PC.
like
Yeah.
the console will for the foreseeable future is going to be like the gateway drug of gaming,
Mhm.
with the PC being like the heroin. Uh,
I wonder if they'll be pushing all those to the Windows Store or Xbox Microsoft Store or whatever they call it. That way they can control the marketplace a little bit more for the PC ones.
I don't think we're going to see them make a huge push to control the marketplace, if only because of the way things are working out right now in Washington for Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Google.
Oh, I
Because
see.
we have a bunch of there's antitrust and monopoly stuff going on right now.
Really? I
So,
see.
and specifically, Microsoft is calling out Apple for their walled garden with how they're handling the
Right,
iOS App Store.
right.
Also, they've already put up like Halo Infinite is on Steam for pre-order right
Oh,
now.
it's on Steam. Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, they're also doing their whole Microsoft X Cloud and Games Pass. So, like, they're trying to bring people into their further into their ecosystem, but they
Hmm.
don't feel they're not forcing people into it.
They're not confining them to the Windows Store,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. Wow, it's interesting. It's on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Let's see. Going back over chat right now. Zeno, not too interested in consoles. Gave away my PS4 last year and haven't turned my Xbox on in almost a year. Feel that. Boots, big problem with consoles right now are is there not is cross platform gameplay lowers the experience for console players in competitive games as PC is superior in most aspects. True, but at least watching a lot of Warzone, while keyboard and mouse definitely still has the advantage, there are some systems in play to kind of balance that out, mostly in the way of like auto aim, which sucks. Microsoft made the Xbox obsolete. Pretty much all first party MS games are on PC now. Yeah. Always had an Xbox, which is good because everyone you played with had an Xbox, but that has recently changed. Gameplay has now suffered. Yeah, it's the game market right now is just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's stranger than it's ever been, and I've seen some strange times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet.
But at the same time too, it's like it's kind of hopeful. We still like all of the various niches of the marketplace are still there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we still have the home console, we still have the handheld, and we still have the PC, and each one in its own way is still very much going strong. Like PlayStation's probably going to take the home console spot, which they've had off and on for pretty much ever. Well, and they're going to continue to hold on real strong there, and then Microsoft's still going to be in the space. But they're just really banking on PCs kind of picking up, which like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
go PC. And then Nintendo is gonna be Nintendo. Like they're never going away.
I like how there's a lot of different genres. I feel like a couple of years ago, or maybe even 10 years ago, there was just everything was a shooter, and I'm sure FPSs are good games, but I feel like there was just so many new games that were just shooters, and I really like there's a lot of more kind of variety these days.
Yeah.
I feel like there is.
Well, in part, it's because of that indie scene.
Mm-hmm.
Small developers like yourself can take huge risks
Yeah.
because it's a passion project for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's holding up an entire quarter of a multi-billion-dollar company.
No, I got like $3.
Yeah. And those are Canadian dollars too.
That's true. So it's like 240 maybe.
Yeah, it's like $2, like two real
Yeah,
dollars.
that's true. Yeah, true.
Has anyone here suffered through Ark? I presume you mean the game with the dinosaurs and the stuff. No, I haven't played it yet. I like I've seen it. I just don't like those types of games. Don't really appeal to me. Um, oh, and yeah, Timmy, how many people are you working with?
Uh, for my project, it's just me right now. It'd be cool to work with somebody in the future, but right now it's just me. It's just solo right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're doing all right.
Oh, they said it looks good. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate you checking it out.
Yeah. Um,
I did have a friend who played Ark, and it looked interesting. I think it also used True Sky, the volumetric cloud plugin. Um, I found the I played it a little bit on my friend's system. I found the interface a little bit. uh, clunky, but maybe just because I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
Arc.
Arc falls into one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Like genres, like Rust and yeah, like those games where it's
Mm-hmm.
just, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I appreciate what they're doing and I think it's really cool and a big technical achievement, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
the kind of game that I have a lot of fun playing.
Yeah, I thought it looked interesting, but I do like it's not an RPG, so not that I stay exclusive to RPGs, but I just don't get sucked in by things that aren't RPGs for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can understand that. And then, is Ancient Sky available to play or in development?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty early development. I'm hoping to have something playable probably like next year, 2021. I don't know when I'll actually do a full release or not. I really like I have no idea what I'm doing, so I don't know if I'm gonna like try and do an alpha funding or something, or maybe a Kickstarter. Uh, I really it's my first time doing it, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. But I'd like to have something playable like next year. I mean, you can play it like the the project as it is, but it's not really something I would consider putting on a store for sure. It's way too rough and early. But thank you for checking it out.
See, it's that kind of reporting that you come to that Tom Clancy show for. Uh, I got nothing. Uh, well, Timmy, real quick, where can people find you on social media so they can keep up to date with what's going on with Ancient Sky, how your life is going, like what crazy things you've seen while flying over Canada? Uh,
I mostly post on Twitter. My Twitter name is Timi707. That's Timi 707. Um, that's my Twitter handle. Um, and yeah, I mostly post there because that's where I got the most response. I tried YouTube. I posted the same video on YouTube and I posted the same video on Twitter at the same time with the same tags. And the Twitter video got like almost 2,000 views, and the YouTube video got 1 view, and that was it. So, and I haven't tried to go back to YouTube since. So I mostly, yeah, Twitter. Twitter's
wow.
where I've been driving my, putting my updates, everything on Twitter for now. I might go somewhere else, like expand sometime. Twitter for now, for sure. Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. Um,
Thank you
and
so much for inviting me.
yeah, hell yeah. And of course, as I mean, we're now like, I feel fairly safe saying we're now internet friends. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
and so when you are getting close to release or you have a demo or something ready to go, let me know.
I would love to. I'd
I'll
love to
keep
have
that
you
seat warm for you on the
try
couch.
it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, it would be great to be back on again. I'd love to. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
hell
actually
yeah.
have a webcam by that point and be a little bit more professional.
Don't worry about it. One of the more fun interviews I've had on the show, the guest sent me the model for their character
I should
in
have
the
done that.
game, which was a fox. So I had a little low poly fox sitting over there on the couch, and I got to like pose it a little bit. And
Oh wow.
he before the show started, I sent him this quick screenshot, and he's like, "Wow, you even posed?" And I was like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do that. I should have done that. I'm working on the modular character system because I have character customization, so I'm working on that now. So I should do that as well.
You are not dreaming small.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not good at taking advice, which is good advice, and I totally agree with it. I'm just bad at doing things like that.
Well, Timmy, I will talk with you again in just a moment here, but real
Okay.
quick, it is time for me to switch over to this camera angle and say
Okay.
to all of you in chat, thank you so much for joining us today. For Zeno and Boots, thank you for the follows. I can't wait to talk with you more as we have more and more shows in the future. Um, Real quick, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be sitting down with the team behind Curve Space at Only by Midnight on Twitter. We'll be talking about their game Curved Space, which I just said. It's a little twin stick shooter if it took place in a Mobius strip. It's real trippy. You can find it on Steam and play the demo. And then on Sunday, I will be posting on Twitter with the schedule for next week, which is also going to be very cool. Some really interesting stuff coming up next week. Other than that, thank you all so much for joining us. If it weren't for you, the show wouldn't still be on the air, whatever people call the internet waves thing. So thank you all so much for joining us. Drink some water, wear that mask, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time on the next episode of That Tom Clancy Show. Good night.